Right. Yeah.
Well, and the best way that I combat, so I'm a mycology enthusiast. So I was reading about fungi long before I was sick from mold, which is ironic. But what people need to understand is mycotoxins are a secondary metabolite. And what's meant by a secondary metabolite versus a primary metabolite is it's something that's rendered from the organism that's not life sustaining. So here's my best analogy. Mycotoxins are the mold's defense mechanism. So it's like their switchblades or their knives or their guns, right? Just because there's mold doesn't mean there's mycotoxins. So if you put mold in a natural setting and it doesn't feel threatened, it's not going to release mycotoxins. Just like, say you go into a building and the building is full of people and their friends and their family and they're celebrating. Are you going to find a lot of weapons in that building? Probably not.
Maybe here in the South.
I will not. I mean,
I was gonna say a certain part of Tampa, maybe.
Not all of us in this. We're a gun-friendly family up here. But you get what I'm saying,
I know
right?
what you mean. Yeah, I mess with you.
But if you go into a building where people are feeling threatened, you're going to find weapons. And so, and that's, so if you're going to try to kill mold, you're going to piss it off and it's going to release those mycotoxins. And people need to really understand that. When we're talking about the health effects of mold, we're not talking about spores. Spores are not toxic. Spores are allergenic. I'm not allergic to mold. Mycotoxins are toxins, period. So very different beast, very small, very different than spores, and that, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation because the current remediation standards, they're looking at spores. They're not addressing mycotoxins. So, it's a wild beast. The industry is, it's a wild one, and there's just a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misinformation out there, and it's a wildfire.
Which is why it's so important to hire somebody like Adam who knows how to properly remediate, because I think that's one of the reasons why people get so sick after bad remediations. The exact example that you just used, Andy. If we're just ripping open contaminated building materials and just spraying chemicals on top of them, they're going to release those toxins if they feel threatened like that. I mean, why wouldn't they? Like any other organism, it's going to try to fight back. And I truly believe that's probably is one of the main reasons why people get so sick after a bad botched remediation.
Yeah, not just that, the unwillingness of the remediator to go further to ensure that they've done everything possible. That means going into common spaces. What we find here a lot, and we've talked about it many, many times on this podcast, is a lot of times the scope is dictated, by maybe what the insurance company is going to cover. Not me in particular as a remediator, but I'm saying other remediation companies, their job is predicated on what the insurance companies are going to pay for. And so in a lot of those cases, they do very limited work and will leave clearly moldy contaminated spaces alone, or won't even think about going to a common wall that's adjacent to a wall that's been identified that has growth, because nobody's paying for it, and they don't even think to even tell the client, hey, there could be another issue over here. So it's a big problem too.
Such an obstacle, and that's why I when I came across you guys, I was like, oh, this is so awesome, because not only are you guys out there doing this, but you're also, and I know you're doing this after hours, taking time away from your family to educate. That's just, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate that. That's so important. So I know you guys are tired and you're busy, but
it's okay. We had somebody on YouTube write us, what do you guys just talk about mold all the time? Do you really think people are listening? And I mean, we do talk about it literally all the time.
We do.
So